So today I'm going to be doing a video on 5 books that I've read over 2018. These have been really good books to me and really useful in helping me to progress as an entrepreneur online. So I think it will be useful to you. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, who knows. But maybe you'll enjoy the video and like the books and decide to buy them. But yeah, so the 5 books are right here. I've got them in my hand. I'm going to go through them one by one. Initially, I was going to do 10, but I thought, who's going to want to watch 10 different books, you know? So I thought, make it nice, short and concise. And I thought to myself, if I can only pick 5, what would be the most useful? So these will probably be more useful than if I had done 10 in the first place. Okay, now these are not in order of priority or anything like this. They're just the complete random 5 books that I think are the best books I've read over 2018. So that's just a quick brief of all of them. But actually, that could be a cool thumbnail, couldn't it? But yeah, what I'll do is I'll go through the first one. So the first one, I'm just going to put that down there. The first one's called The One Thing. Some of you may have seen this on Amazon. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it's written by a guy named Gary Keller. So this book's really interesting because it's all about defining one thing and specifying and honing in on that and becoming great at that one thing. And it's just like basically breaking down any task, any complex sort of situation in your life into one thing, defining the most important one thing that actually moves whatever it is you're trying to do forward. So for example, if we were trying to talk about business, it might be the one thing that moves you towards your goal. So you really want to define that thing and do that thing every single day and prioritize it. So everything else that isn't that one thing is simply a distraction. So you may have heard me actually saying it in a few of the videos so far, and it's just from referencing to this book. So it says that we are not built to multitask. This section's called multitasking. So you might get a lot of women who always say, you know, multitask and cooking and cleaning and all of that. We're actually scientifically not built to do that as humans, whether we're a man, woman, whatever. So all you're doing when you're training yourself to multitask is training yourself to be bad at being good at things, you know. So for example, when it comes to focusing, you might realize that your attention, you know, is no good. It's because you're trying to focus on one thing and you've been training yourself to do 2, 3 things, you know, at once throughout your whole life, you know. So that's a really interesting book, and it's really good for business. So it's saying cut through the clutter, achieve better results in less time, and build momentum. So as you do that one thing, you start to build momentum. Like for example, if you're doing daily uploads on YouTube, if you're a YouTuber, you know, you build that momentum by pushing out content every single day, and it becomes like a new habit that you do, which takes you, you know, fastest, because you could focus on trying to get the best titles, the best descriptions, but the most important thing is just putting out content, you know. So that's what that is anyway, and that's what that book's about. The next book is by the famous Alex Becker. So this book is really, really good. This book is all about entrepreneurship and how to actually make it in entrepreneurship, and how Alex Becker made it, and what he believes to be the 10 pillars of wealth in life, yeah. So he's talking about separating time from money, where he's simply saying, you know, detaching the thought of working for time or whatever. It's the generic thing you hear in most entrepreneurship books. But yeah, it's basically rejecting getting rich slow. So he's talking about rich slow. He means like normal, go get a job, you know, and work for the rest of your life and then hopefully try and retire on some money. He talks about that in here. He's saying accepting that you must be better than everyone else. That's like the 3rd pillar. That's really interesting because you know, when you go into a lot of things, you're not trying to be the best, but if you realize, like anyone who kind of succeeds in life, they're always the ones who are trying to be the best at what they do. So even for you to sort of make it up to that, you know, sort of elite level, you really need to be playing ball at the highest elite level in that sense. So for you even to get some level of success, you need to be at least aiming for that. So that's what he talks about. He's saying knowing everything is 100% your fault. So this comes back to understanding that everything's in your control. So your success is purely based on, you know, it's all your control and your choice, your decisions that you make of where you receive certain results for that. So you know, it's about taking full responsibility of everything in your life and understanding that your success is basically in the ball of your hand. It's up to you how you do it. And then he's saying mapping out actions and goals. people give money to people that get people. So understanding your audience, things like that. Finding competitive friends. So he's saying being around winners and people who are succeeding and ahead of you, and making decisions to be wealthy at any cost. So just basically, making a decision that you want to get rich. Okay, so the next book is called Copy That Sells. Now this I just read last week, but this is a brilliant book. Like honestly, it's the one thing that I think is so important, like to online. So everything online is like, it comes down to one thing, which is selling, because essentially we never make money out of the computer. So we always like kind of, I think it's easy in this modern age to get caught up in the idea of like this entrepreneurship lifestyle, but you're almost like thinking that you're not selling to another person, like someone's going to work like and making the money that you're trying to get, so like you need to really give them a service or some sort of good value for them to give you their money in exchange. So you're doing a transaction with another person and not the computer, which is what I'm trying to say, because so many people get stuck in the mindset of making money out of the computer, but it doesn't work like that. So because everything online is about sales and selling to someone, it's about like understanding those people and being able to write persuasively or speak persuasively to encourage those people to make certain decisions. Okay, so this book is all about writing emails, how to do it, like, setting out pain points and benefits and bullet points and PS sections. You've got writing blog posts, so which is very important for a majority of you who will watch this video. So writing blog posts in the right format, and really touching on, pain points and persuading people to click certain things. And it's just like, it's so powerful that he basically has a section saying you have to promise, if you read this book, that you won't use it for the bad in the world, because he goes, you'll have the ability to control and manipulate people's actions online just because of understanding. It talks about how people land on pages, what they do, and it describes it in depth, because I was literally reading a few things and thinking, crap, like, I didn't even know that I do that. And when I think about it, it's stuff that I do, like when I go onto a page and whatever. So they've already sort of mastered all that psychology behind it. So it talks about headlines. It gives you like 21 different ways of doing headlines, how to capture people, resources to use. It's just a really, really good book for anyone who's doing anything online, because you have to think everything's copywriting. And this is what I think I've been overlooking for a straight year of like being online or anything that I've been doing. Like everything's copywriting. If you think about it, website, what is it? You can do all your fancy, designs and whatever, but it comes down to one thing, which is the text and the content on the page. Advertising, again, it's just images and text, persuasive writing, persuading people to take actions. Then you think about it, that's ads, sales letters, exactly the same thing. Emails, text, it's all about copywriting, the most important thing. And honestly, I felt stuck at a long time online because I just didn't know how to fill in the blanks in certain areas. Like, you can't do email marketing if you don't know how to write emails. You can't do and it's kind of hard to always think, how do these people make all the sales? And how do they, set their pages in a way that it sort of converts people and people buy stuff? You need to read that if you're questioning that, because that's where I was. Now, this one is called Grinding It Out. This book's really good. This book's all about McDonald's. Many of you may know McDonald's, but if you know anything about it, it wasn't actually, McDonald's was created by the McDonald's brothers, but where it is today was not by them. It was by a guy who used to supply them ice cream. So this guy is Ray Kroc, and he's notorious for basically creating the big, huge establishment of McDonald's that we have today around the globe. And he envisioned this from many, many years ago when he decided to get involved in the business. But he was just like an entrepreneur who was initially a salesman. And the thing what I gathered from this book is it's called Grinding It Out. So it's about never giving up and just grinding. But the main concept from this book is that he didn't actually start this until the end of his normal working career. So not until the end of his job career, where he was in his 50s or 40s when he first got involved with McDonald's. And he had a drive, he took it all the way. So it's about never giving up. And he grinded it out in his late years, all the way through 60s, 70s and all those years to get McDonald's to where it is today. And I think when you're growing up, your parents and things might say, you're going to get tired when you get to this age and all of that. And it fills your head with loads of crap. And you sort of start thinking, I need to do it in the next few years or I'm never going to do it and all of this. yes, you do need to do it as soon as possible, but at the same time, don't give up. Like if you don't, like, so just commit to, making a decision to go in that direction more than trying to focus on one destination. It's more of like a sort of process that you need to sort of get into, opposed to trying to focus on, I need to get to this point at this age or whatever. So that's what I think anyway. But this book is really interesting, and he was notorious for making like some of, at the time when he lived, he made the most millionaires of his time period. So that was really interesting. And how McDonald's actually sort of got rich was not through selling burgers and chips and whatever. It's through real estate. They're actually one of the biggest real estate companies in the world because of Ray Kroc, and also because of I think it was like a lawyer or someone who he met who actually gave him the idea. But really good book. If you're interested in grinding it out, then I suggest you read that. Okay. The last book is actually by a guy who I believe is in the UK. His name's Matthew Said. He's a tennis player. So he was from the Olympics. This book's really interesting because people basically associate this whole thing about being great at something down to a gift. So he said, like, throughout his whole life, people have been telling him that he's gifted. And he said, yes, like he had a little competitive advantage when he started out, but without practice, it means nothing. So what he actually talks about is he focuses on the 10,000 hour rule. So for those of you who don't know what that is, they basically say, like, it's like scientifically proven that to become great at something, you have to put at least like 10,000 hours into it. Now, obviously give or take. So some people ain't put that in yet to become great, but you will become great at that point if you're doing it, if you get that. But anyway, so this book is all about like really taking a realistic approach to things, because like I think when you sort of get involved in business and stuff, you look at like other people and you always think, oh, like they're sort of really successful because they had a bit of luck, or you think it's like you almost got that lottery mentality, like where you think it can't happen for me, but it happened for them. Whereas these people are just taking it and saying, stop like sort of dreaming and just get in reality and understand that you have control. If you do certain actions, you will get certain results and you will learn certain things. So you'll get better with time, And he basically believes in the 10,000 hour rule of where you become like you master, the task that you're putting 10,000 hours into. And if you combine that with doing one thing, you'll put 10,000 hours into the right thing, as early as possible. Oh, some stocking just dropped from the wall, the Christmas stocking. But so that's a really good book. This one's really good. I think like it's just understanding that through purposeful practice, you can achieve anything in life. And that's what he talks about. So because he says in the Olympics, everyone says how he's gifted and how he's got like a natural flow to what he does, like second nature. And he says it's all through purposeful practice. So he believes that he's just practiced more than the other people who haven't got the talent and honed in on it. And that's what this book's basically about. But that is my 5 books, and those are the 5 books that have really helped me this year. I think, I really put purposeful practice into what I do. I try and hone in on the one thing. I take responsibility, as Alex Becker said in his books. I try and, meet people who are successful or just a bit ahead of me, or I made this YouTube channel to reach out to people just like you. So I can, connect with you and really hone in on what I'm trying to do and network with other like-minded individuals. And then Copywriting is just like the best book that I've read this year, like to do with my business. It's just got actionable steps telling me exactly how to build a business in that sense, honestly, because everything is copywriting. And I think like that is something you just have to, like you absolutely must have that under the belt, because once you can do that, you can set up advertisements, you can write websites, and like when you write the site and it gets traffic, you almost can predict that you're going to convert people because you know how to persuasively write. Not only that, but you can sell your services for a lot. So you could do a bit of freelancing with the skill as well. But then at the same time, okay, well, I can set up emails as well because you know exactly how to write the emails, which is, again, copywriting. So everything is just copy. Like you need to learn how to do that. And then it also combines it with video sales letters as well. So there's a bit of information on that. But I mean, video sales is still the same as sales. It's just converting it into video format. So once you can understand the concepts of that, you can then obviously implement it into other areas of your life and other areas of your business and find it useful there. But I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. That is it in a nutshell. And you'll see me in the following couple of days with another video. So thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe. And if you did like the video, leave a like on the video. And also leave a comment on your favorite book out of the 5 below. I'll see you in the next one.